Welcome, and happy holidays. It's the Hooligan pitch. We're back. Holiday festive mode engaged. You so maybe more on brand than me. I just threw on a beanie,
Yeah.
but it's got the little
You got some pom pom up there. Ho ho ho, Chad. How's it going?
great, just moving through the holidays and
Yep.
catching the footy when I can.
Dude, this holiday break was crazy, and like last year, we had one, but we were all over the place too. World Cup
Mhm.
ended, and then I think
Yep,
we took
yep.
like a pretty good international break.
Yeah, for
Before
sure.
we started up again, but since we're both full homebound, I've been that's been my last week and a half is just watching as many games as I have been able to, and I've been catching them. A couple I maybe dozed off at halftime because I ate all that Christmas prime rib and mashed potatoes,
Mm.
but that's
Oh
the
yeah.
inevitable. So what are
It
you gonna do?
happens.
Yeah.
I just lost track that the Tuesday games are even happening. I woke up
Oh,
and things had already happened. And okay.
Christmas on a Monday throws.
I think that was
I
it.
think the week off. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to be the first business day of the week, but that's what happened. But it's been a little while since we've talked.
Mhm,
We kind
mhm.
of knew that was coming because of how busy things were getting up, and we tried to plan something, and unfortunately, things just got too busy. It happens.
Yeah.
So let's pop our brews. Let's get into it because our teams they got into it.
Yeah.
What you having?
I made myself a little cocktail. I'm using the blood orange
There you
spindrift.
go.
Just
Is that new? Your first time trying that one, or is it
I mean, it's the first time I've gotten it. I had it
Okay.
like once before,
Okay.
but just paired it with some tequila.
There you
It's
go.
you gotta like tequila. It's a little strong, but it's tasty.
Nice, nice. I'm gonna do a little treehouse jingle juice to stay
Jingle
on
juice.
brand here. Look at that
Nice.
thing.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And then Kristen for Christmas got me this nice little Liverpool pint glass.
Hey.
It's a tall boy, but my beer will fit in it. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I think we just got to start with the Liverpool Arsenal game. Just get it out of the way.
I'm gonna need to do a shot or two if we're gonna get into that one. Oh boy. All right, Chad. You started off. First thoughts.
First thoughts. I think end of the day, draw is fair. I think it was pretty level back and forth. Um,
Well,
as far as like performances go.
sure.
But I mean, yeah, it reminded me so much of last season where Arsenal came out hot, got the early goal. Looked like they were kind of maybe not in control, but in somewhat of the driver's seat, I guess. And
Yep.
then Liverpool at home is it's a hard place to go and play, and not only get the early goal, but then maintain that lead for the whole time. So um, they found their way back in through Salah, which if I'm going to give up a goal, it's probably to Salah, right?
Nice
So
goal too. Like
it was
pretty
a
much
perfect goal. Like
the vintage solid goal.
yeah,
Left foot banger.
yeah. I mean, there's definitely like bits and bobs we got to talk about, but I think overall it was a entertaining game. I think a draw is fair.
I don't disagree with you. I think a draw is fair. I just I think the big elephant in the room is that handball that I don't know. No one seems to know what a handball is anymore,
Changes
and
every week.
look, Chad. The whole commentator said one thing, VAR said another. We thought one thing. We can all agree Odegaard was slipping. Can we agree on
Hmm.
that?
Hmm.
Can we agree? Can we agree on why Odegaard was slipping?
I don't know
Well,
what's your.
because Salah was busting that ass, Chad. He made a move on him, and he went one way, and he had to react to it, so he shifted his weight to the other side, which caused him to slip. Salah made Odegaard slip. Odegaard didn't make Odegaard slip.
I mean, I guess sure.
Perfect. So then the ball is now moving past Odegaard, and as he's shifting his weight to catch his slip, his hand smacks the ball. We agree on that, right?
Yeah.
So then, what?
I mean but that's the gray area, right? Of like, because he's slipping, and it was such a quick, shift of momentum, I guess. This, and then he slips, so I think then his hand kind of goes out as a like a to brace the fall.
No.
No, hang on. I'm in full agreement that this should have been called as a handball and penalty, but this is what I think
What?
VAR saw.
Okay.
So because of that, like that slip as he's shifting, he's then has that little bit of like vertigo, right? So he like throws an arm out to just kind of brace himself, but then yeah, like kind of catches himself as now the ball is already hitting his hand. I think, and it's a handball for sure, a penalty, yeah, but like, I think that's what VAR saw. I think they saw the slip and gave Odegaard maybe benefit of the doubt.
I don't get that at all. I don't, because even if you do slip intentionally, unintentionally, like there's no, you can't say if someone slipped on purpose or not.
No, but there is the part of that handball ruling, though, is like if you're falling to ground, like you're allowed to put your hands out to brace your fall, and if it hits you in that instance, like it doesn't count. So that's, I guess, the ruling that they're relying on. But yeah, it's I mean, even Saliba in the post-match interview says, yeah,
that was something else. I was like, but he didn't go to ground.
Yeah, but like that slip was like initiated where he had to like kind of lose his balance, but then he like kind of catches himself as his studs like dig in, right?
Right.
So I don't think you need to complete the going to ground motion to be falling necessarily. Like, there's a lot of ways to fall.
It was. It just felt. I've seen so many, I guess, easier handball calls to make that were just like obvious, and this one just felt like an obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I was situation. I was certainly surprised it wasn't called, or even really seemed to be given that much attention in the game, right? Like, play kind of just continued on, right? And so maybe had, I don't know, ball gone out and ref holds the play, maybe VAR takes a little bit longer to look at it, or looks at it in a different light or something. But I think maybe since play was still going on and they didn't want to dwell on it too much. I don't know. It should have been called. It wasn't.
Were you sweating?
Not sweating, but like just disappointed. Like, it's already going to be a tough ask to win here, or get away with the draw. So then to like potentially give up a penalty off of like a handball that you don't, that's just too easy. You can't let it happen that easy.
It would have been an unfortunate handball. Like, no doubt about that. It would have sucked because Odegaard obviously wasn't trying to. I don't think he was trying to slap the ball on purpose. No one, player of that caliber isn't trying to do something of that in this big of a game. To get away with that would just be so obnoxious and uncalled for, and that's not his character. I think he's just extremely lucky that VAR went with Arsenal on this one.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's what I've seen with a lot of fan comments and a lot of Arsenal content creators, I guess, is like they are all pretty much on board of saying like this was a penalty and they got away with it, which I think is good because it's easy to comment on VAR when it doesn't go your way. So I think it's also important for like all the clubs to kind of do the same thing of like, oh yeah, we got away with that one. VAR is still shitty. So that's the game.
Well, in match day 19, both Arsenal and Liverpool have more VAR issues that we'll talk about, because the next one that we'll talk about for Liverpool just blows my mind, and I don't even. You
didn't know this was a VAR podcast? We're not Premier League. It's just VAR talk all time.
VAR humbug, Chad. Great sweater. Shout out, Mike. We gotta find that. Last time Arsenal won at Anfield was when Arteta was in the midfield. Pretty special stat there. No surprise that it's one of the toughest places for Arsenal to go.
Mhm.
But let's jump to roughly the 70th minute when we see Liverpool on a 5-1 breakaway with just one giant man named Declan Rice getting in our way. Chad, I don't yell
Uh,
much. I don't yell in our house a lot, but when that 5-on-1 breakaway was happening, I was like, don't screw this up. Don't screw this up. It's like I was literally going, everyone get down. I'm saying this verbatim. This is exact. I was like, everyone go, just run, just go. And then when Trent smacked that ball, oh Lord, I let out like when a dog like gets its foot stepped on yelp type
mhm.
thing,
Yep,
bro. And
yep,
I just fell back on the couch. And I just remember looking up at the ceiling, just going,
yep.
what happened? And they showed the replay of it. The ball, sure, it had a bobble to it, but you're
Yeah.
telling me Trent Alexander-Arnold can't pass that ball in the back of the net? I don't.
Yeah.
Why was he going for power?
I think yeah, he tried to. It was like
Blasted
too
it.
much power, or like make it look too pretty, or something. Like that was an easy pass, and like Rice. Credit to him, he did as well as he could to cut off some angles, and at least stop Salah from the one being taking the shot. But Trent, like, that's a tap in basically.
And he hit the post, and that's kind of been like our mo this year.
Yeah.
It's like everyone just love banging that post, man. Everyone wants in on it. That hurt. I think at that point I
Mhm.
knew we probably weren't gonna win. Just the way the football gods work, right?
Yeah.
They giveth and they taketh, and that one kind of sealed it up for me. Um, but just from my point of view, Arsenal didn't really freak me out that much for most of that game. I feel like a lot of balls to Martinelli where he's trying to do too much. We kind of shut down Saka too.
Mhm.
I thought Joe Gomez did much better in that late second half rather than when he got subbed in. When he got subbed in, I thought he was going to get cooked. I really did. It was not looking
Yeah.
pretty over there. Simicas and Klopp colliding, that was wild. Broke his collarbone. That sucks.
Oof.
So
Yeah.
he's out for a minute, and luckily we get Robertson back soon. But that's kind of my takeaways. We didn't perform our best. I think we can both agree that wasn't our A+ teams doing their
Mhm.
thing. I think it was two really good teams going against each other, and I
Yeah.
think this will just lead up to an epic round two when it happens, and just an inevitable um, finish to the top of the table.
Yeah. Like it was just, I think both teams defensively, I think, looked pretty good. Konate and Virgil were kind of holding it down back there, just like Saliba and Gabriel back in Arsenal's defense. And then the attacks, I think, just both like had flashes and had moments
Mm-hmm.
where they could have taken the lead, and for one reason or another, goal didn't go in, ball hits the post, or play just kind of falls apart. So yeah, draw I think is fair. Draw I think maybe favors Arsenal, though not in necessarily performance, but in points in the table. I think Liverpool would have wanted to get a win in the home side of this. Not that going away to the Emirates means like they can't get a win there, but it's you want to win your games at home. It's generally easier, right? Um, so yeah, I don't know. I do got to ask you though. You think Liverpool's groundskeeper's playing a little bit of dark arts out there?
No, not really, because
Really?
well,
I don't know. This pitch looked
it would be
suspicious.
suicidal to our own team too, unless we're playing with extra long studs, which
Mm,
isn't happening.
but you could prepare for that better than the away team could, right? Like going
True.
into it. I'm just saying because like a lot of those balls, they stopped like that pitch was soaked, right? That Martinelli chance, that ball just doesn't move as he tries
True.
to take it. They're slipping all over the place, which like I don't know why you just don't bring like
It's Allison special, baby.
yeah, like I think Arsenal kit team should have just brought like your normal shoes, and then like the extra long studs or something. And if the weather just turns out of nowhere and it's just like torrential downpour, right? Like just be prepared. So um, I don't think that would have necessarily changed the outcome of the game, but I did notice it. Like a lot of those passes that Arsenal used to like give Martinelli a lead or give Saka a lead just like started nice and then just like petered out.
Yeah. It's been raining a lot right now. I just checked the weather stats here because that's where we're a forecast team now at Hooligan's
That's
pitch.
it.
It's windy, it's cold, and it's been raining a lot there in the last week. So I don't think so. We've seen a lot of teams I think slip this year. I think you caught the brute end of it. I think you noticed it maybe a little more than what the average eye would be looking for. But when I've watched games there too, we're slipping all over the place as well. I think it just depends on the day. I don't know. I'll be watching it more now that you say it to kind of see if we're slipping more than the other team. Hard to say. I like it though. I like the conspiracy behind it.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Little dark arts here and there. Yep. I wish we had Jota back. I think that is my one little like damn 1 week away, because when he came back on this last week, he looked great. He looked excellent. If he isn't starting or playing at least 70 minutes every game going into the future, I'll be pretty bummed. He's just a little engine, man. He's all over the place. Yeah. So February 4th is our rematch.
Yeah, so and we have I think an FA Cup matchup in there as well, or maybe right after that or something. Yeah, so it's Arsenal Liverpool just playing each other 3 times in 2 months.
Oh, that matchup, Chad, is next week on the 7th.
Oh, really? Wow. So yeah,
a lot sooner than I thought.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how that match goes. If both teams kind of bring out the A team again, or if there's going to be more rotation.
More mind games.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both probably going to, if not, complete starting 11, most starting 11 with 1 or 2 little rotations. But yeah, we'll see. FA Cup on the line, league position on the line, like a month later. So
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
That's all my notes for that game. Is there anything else you want to bring up or?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. Like, I mean, Salah's goal was just, perfectly shot goal. We know Zinchenko's not the best at defending, and instead of showing Salah to the line, he lets him cut inside for some reason. Dude. So, it had, Timber not gone out at the start of the season or Tomiyasu not been out, I think either one of them would have started over Zinchenko, but that's the way it is.
I mean, we could say the same thing about Robertson too. I mean, injuries, it's going to happen. But I do agree with you. When we see Zinchenko, I think every team right now is just targeting him so hard.
I was surprised Liverpool didn't target him more, though.
Me too.
Especially after the goal went in. I was like, well, that's the blueprint. Just keep making that pass.
I'm shocked. I mean, we've done this for now the last 2 games in a row. We've attacked him and we've scored because we are getting him in his feet tangled up when he's running backwards. Yeah. I don't know. Talk to Klopp later and see if he agrees with our points and will help Liverpool out. All right, we're gonna do a quick match day 18. Just run through. Palace Brighton, kind of a boring game. I expected a little bit more out of Brighton, but that's kind of been their MO.
Yeah, I mean, I think your big takeaway is that Matoma's out injured again. So,
man, it sucks.
Not great.
Dean Henderson threw him out of the way, and that was it. Danny Welbeck with that huge header, though. That was a sweet goal to put him back in it, because they were kind of down and out for most of that game. And that brought him back. So that continued their streak. I want to say it's at 30 now for goal for.
Clean sheet?
No. For scoring in a game. Oh no, it just got reset. It got reset. Yeah, Arsenal reset that. For clean sheets,
they don't have one all season.
No. I think they're at 22 now, if my memory serves me right.
Brighton?
22 games without a clean sheet in a row.
Oh. Okay, so a little bit longer than this season.
Yeah, it started last season. Yep.
Nice.
And I think that'll just continue to happen. They're either going to outscore
It
you
looks like it.
or play no defense and get beat.
Yep.
The Aston Villa Sheffield game, though, that one confusing because Aston Villa, man, they've been playing lights out. They go in and hand it to sorry, excuse my words, to City not long ago, and then they go in and draw Sheffield. I was like, come on, like, what is that?
Yeah, it was a strange one. Like, obviously, Sheffield's going to just defend and pack the box as much as they can. But I would have expected Aston Villa to plan for that and be able to break that down or look for the counter a little bit more often. Yeah, I mean, for a moment it looked like Sheffield might get away with a win. So
yeah,
that would have been the real upset.
Villa got really lucky that +9 came in. I feel like, I don't know if you've noticed this. I feel like as time goes on, the injury time is getting shorter. With each game I'm kind of popping into, I'm seeing more +4s, +5s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are we starting to get back to our old ways and get rid of these 8, 9, 10s? Because that's when the fun's happening.
Yeah, I think so. Because I don't feel like there's any less stoppages in the game than normal to make it a 4-minute add time or less. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe just refs are getting tired in the festive period too, and like, all right, let's get out of here.
Maybe. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if like, what's 5 minutes gonna like? What's the difference? But
Yeah,
we're gonna wait and see what our stats look like at the end of this year. And I guarantee the goals and injury time, I feel like there's been so many this season compared to any other ones. I think players are just getting tired in that last little section and finding the opposition's finding little boosts of energy to get it in late. So very lucky Villa, very lucky. Man U West Ham, is West Ham clicking?
I was telling you, Moyes had to figure out that like defense structure, how to get everyone on the pitch, and now he's kind of made it happen, and it's working. He made Man U look like fools out there.
Dude, when you have a midfield of Paqueta, Ward-Prowse, and Kudus, that's solid.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got speed and creativity all along the front, and then you got Ward-Prowse kind of right behind that. Even Susek can kind of pitch in with his height and his spins.
His spins. They're a huge team. They really are. We won't get to today's game yet, but shortest player on our team is Ward-Prowse and Bowen. Everyone else towering from Susek and Alvarez's back. It's insane. Their wing backs look like center backs, but they're just as fast as actual wingers.
Yeah,
it's an interesting. It really is an interesting team. I don't think they're that deep. I think that's what's going to hurt them in the end. Is they have a great starting 11, but then after that they maybe have like 1 or 2 subs that can come on and contribute just enough. Like Ben Rama, he comes on and he has a spark every now and then. But that's kind of it. Danny Ings, he has those moments, but never consistent. And then there's just a drop off. So that's the one thing that worries me. If West Ham can get a lead before they have to make subs, that's where they're solid.
Sure, yeah. I mean, they are certainly kind of finding their way, I guess. I think in the United game and even today's game, they looked really well organized in the back, and they maybe didn't get as much freedom in today's game, but against that Man U game, like they were just kind of messing with them the whole time. I feel like
I thought that was the day Ten Hag might get fired. I was like, they're gonna do this man dirty for Christmas. It's gonna happen. And
don't have to pay him the Christmas bonus then. So.
Right. Drop him a day before, we're solid. But post today, West Ham's looking top 6 now, and at the beginning of the season, we had them on our relegation list. So, shout outs to them for finding a way and clicking.
Yeah, they they're kind of like a interesting team, right? Like they kind of struggled last season, but went on to win the conference league title.
They were in relegation
Then
zone for a minute.
yeah, like they were not good in the league. And then yeah, you sell Rice in the summer, which is a massive hole to fill, and credit to them, they've filled that well, I think. But
Almost
yeah,
as
like you said,
best as you could fill it. I mean, I don't know
yeah,
what
oh
else
yeah,
you could really do and make it better.
yeah. I think it just comes down to, like you said, is depth.
Huh?
If everyone stays healthy and they can get the early lead and then defend it, cool. If injuries start to creep up like it has for so many teams, then we'll see. I don't think they'll fall all the way down to relegation zone or even the threat of that, really. But yeah, they're a fun team to watch right now too. With
Super.
their front four or five kind of all on the same page, and Kudus is just this um, unknown quantity in the Premier League, right? So he's exciting.
No one knows how to play him yet. It's really
Yeah,
fun to watch. Watching him today
yeah,
was really special. I know we're kind of jumping around a bit. Paqueta got hurt today, though. He only played 30
yeah.
minutes. That didn't look good. That could hurt
I
them.
mean, so I heard on the broadcast that I was watching, the commentator said that he pulled up a little bit short in the warm up
Yep.
and was like very touch and go if he was even going to start.
Yep.
I mean, I guess you could argue the start was worth it because he played a part in that goal. But is that worth it long term if this is some hamstring thing? Now he's out 5-6 weeks or something. I don't know, but
I mean, I'd argue no. I think this game,
yeah,
for where West Ham is and what they're trying to accomplish, that wasn't a game where I think if they lost, they'd be okay with it. Even if they drew,
mm,
they'd be okay with it. And if they win,
yeah,
that's even greater. But is this win worth an injury to your best player for the next couple months? I don't know. That's
yeah.
probably
We'll
not.
find out.
Probably not. Yeah. So that's tough. But against Man U, they looked far better than I think Man U would ever be this season.
Yeah, for sure.
Fair statement to say. Burnley Fulham, I don't have much to say other than I am so disappointed in Fulham right now. They're on my ugly list because they were looking so hot and so good,
Didn't they have like
outscoring.
2 back-to-back games of 5-0 or
Bro,
something?
two back
Like,
to back 5-0s, and they dropped 3-0 to Newcastle, 2-0 to Fulham, 3-0 to Bournemouth, and now are sitting where are they in our table? 13th, 21 points, but they were ready to break into top 10 and get close to the top 6 even. And then they
yeah.
just went psych.
Yeah, I don't know what changed. Like they were kind of cruising. Even beyond the 5-0 wins, like just their overall play, I thought started to look pretty good. And then, yeah, I don't know, something switched, and now they can't get it together, and Leno's freaking out now.
Well, Leno's been hurt, so I'm sorry, not Leno. Tim Ream has been hurt.
Uh-huh.
So we talked about him being old and maybe not what he is used to
Yeah,
being, but now I feel like they need him back quickly because he was a big part of the organization in that back line.
for sure. Yeah,
And so yeah, they're probably going to rush him back for the new year just to get that team back on track.
yeah. See how that plays out. It's always a risk rushing people back, especially when they're older like that. So I think they need to, but the USA supporter in me says, "Don't do that. We need him to."
Yeah, please do not hurt our old man. Luton, big win over Castle.
Ooh.
They're starting to find, I think, their groove a little bit. Again, they're
Yeah.
a pretty gritty team. They'll scratch and claw.
At home, especially. Like,
Yeah, home is fun, man.
yeah, I think a lot of it is just these teams are going from 40-50,000 stadiums to this like 11,000 stadium, so it's fans are much closer right on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's got to be such a hostile energy to be the away team there. And if that's what works for Luton, then like hell yeah, keep doing it. If you can take some points off of Newcastle there, and maybe not outplay them, but definitely went toe to toe with them, I guess, and came out on top.
They're just gritty. They're never going to give up. I think
Yeah.
teams have to realize that. I mean, Liverpool found out the hard way,
Mhm.
and Arsenal too. Arsenal had
Yeah. Oh,
to
yeah.
get out of there with just their last breath of air.
Yeah.
That was the Declan Rice winner, right? So I mean,
Mhm.
it's a team that, yes, they're in the bottom three, but man, they don't play like bottom three sometimes, just because of how tough
Yeah.
they play. And I think next time we play them in Anfield, we'll be a little bit more weary, but hopefully wrap them up quickly instead of last minute.
Yeah. And I think that'll just, the teams that went there and struggled will remember that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so on the return leg, that'll be, okay, yeah, they're relegation side, newly promoted, yada yada, but like they're obviously here to play, trying to stay up. And I think had they been able to get it together a little bit sooner, um, I think they probably would be out of the relegation zone by a point or two, maybe. But they're certainly on their way. They certainly look better than Sheffield.
Oh
So
yeah, Sheffield. They're probably going to go
Sheffield, I
down
think we
as,
can highlight that one as like, you're good, you're going down.
yeah, poor lads. It's true. Even Burnley too. They're on that cusp
Yeah.
of kind of figuring it out sometimes, and then other times like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, okay, you're probably going to. But Luton, I'm not counting them out yet. Not
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
All right, let's talk a little more VAR, Chad. Bournemouth and
Hmm.
Forest. Nuno's back in the league, baby. He said he has no regrets about the way he had to leave Tottenham, but now he has to change his ways with Forest.
It's fair.
Classic PR comment.
Yeah.
But this game, Forest got ripped off. I think we all see it. We all know it.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, again, their grittiness, which they've been doing that a lot this year, got them the victory at the very last minute. The Solanke hat trick. But
Yeah.
the Willy Bolly double yellow. I know we've said this a lot. That's the worst call I've seen this year. Now, add it to the list.
That one's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Add it to the list, Chad.
Good. Okay, good. Yeah. Look, I'm not really upset with the on-field ref calling that, even though I think it was a clean tackle. He won the ball fairly, but I think in the speed of game, ref maybe didn't fully see it, and it was one of those tackles that kind of slides through a little bit. So, benefit of the doubt for the ref that he just called it wrong. But when it results in a second yellow and then expulsion from the game, I don't understand why VAR can't intervene on that. That makes zero sense. And like, I get it's another yellow and they don't review yellows, but like, it's not just another yellow. The card happens to be yellow, but it's resulting in a red card, right? Like, it makes zero sense why VAR can't review second yellows.
They have to change that rule. If that doesn't get changed by next season, what are we doing? What's the point?
Yeah,
What's the point of this system?
I get not reviewing every single yellow, and you'll pick up some yellows that you shouldn't, but that alone isn't necessarily a game-defining moment where red cards and second yellows are. So they should be treated equally on that and get the full review, right?
You would think. I mean, what's the harm?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
We won't. We never will.
No,
Unless they
we
change the
won't.
rule.
They really need to.
I want to give you a quick rundown of our list we have so far, just to get the idea of what we've been through this season. These are both good and bad things. But to start, we got Matoma's breakaway goal to start the season off. Remember that one? It's a fun one.
Yes.
That could still be goal of the year.
Yeah.
Luis Diaz offside goal versus the Spurs. Top-notch moment. We're going to hopefully look at Arsenal post 95th minute goal differential by the end of the season. That's because of Declan Rice doing what he has to do. More recent ones we have on here: the Arsenal Newcastle out of bounds call, the most
Mhm.
controversial one, which we might have to square that by the end of the day. The Roy Hodgson laughing at Pep, great classic
Oh,
moment.
yeah.
And now I'm adding the Willy Bolly red card to this because this is something that we need to remember that VAR needs to improve. So I'm putting Willy Bolly VAR improvement for 24-25.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good list so far of, like you
Just
said, both good and bad, but
just notable moments of this season where we said, "What the fuck."
yeah. But hey, I mean, Forrest under Nuno, in this game, especially being down a man for what, 70 minutes ish, 60, 70
Roughly,
minutes.
yeah.
I thought they still looked pretty good.
They
Like
look
they were
so
kind of
much better.
still taking it to Bournemouth,
Oh,
and I think, you get the guys get tired at a certain point, and make some still, Forrest defending mistakes, but um, it was a good sign still from a game that was kind of taken from them by this second yellow we can't review
and then
call.
what's crazy about that is that referee. Get his name here because he deserves a shout out. Um, After that call, R. Jones, Robert Jones, he went to Irala from Bournemouth, the coach, and gave him a yellow for complaining about it, which suspended him for match day 19.
Oh,
Very odd,
interesting.
very weird. I don't know, just event in order of how it
Yeah,
went down. It was so bizarre. But yes, Forrest looks a lot
yeah,
better.
that's weird.
Shout outs to Matt Turner. I hope Nuno can keep him in line, keep him confident. We need that
Mhm.
for USMNT, and they look a lot better. And I think
Yeah.
we saw that in this game, and then coming into match day 19 too against Castle,
Hmm.
they did the anything's possible. All right, we got Wolves and Chelsea here. Yeah, it's a good comment.
Yeah, I mean, I had a few notes, but the only one I need to talk about is Sterling. Um, you're on that little. You make a good tackle high up the pitch. It's you, Cole Palmer, Nick Jackson, maybe up there. Just pass the ball. They were wide open. They could have made that. I would have really liked to see Pochettino just sub him out right then. Honestly, I think he kind of needs to do that. Um, show some I don't know, some fight or something of, like, if you're not gonna play for the team, just like get out. And I get that Sterling is one of the older guys now in the club, and probably some sort of a leadership figure, but like, you got to lead by example, right? So if he's not doing it, I need you to pull that Mourinho card out of your pocket, yank him out of there.
He should. We saw Marino do that not too long ago.
Hmm.
I'll have to see who he pulled, but he didn't like what one of his players did 20 minutes in and said, "You're done. Like
Yeah.
you made two bad passes, you're out." And it's like managers need to realize it's like they're the coach, they're the ones in charge.
Yeah.
And if your player is not playing up to par, um, it's time to change things up. And with that bench, I mean, they're so young. Like they're not going to win the Premier League this year, and Sterling's probably not the right fit for this team anyway. So why
Hmm.
not get these young guys more reps? It's very
It's true. Yeah.
it's such a strange thing. This team makes no sense to me. And they play so selfishly and bad and I don't know. Chelsea's man, they just got a
I mean,
weird
it,
squad.
it's yeah, it's kind of fascinating to watch from the outside, especially with the contracts that they were handing out, and um, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the next few years. Because like, if these guys don't turn it on and get better, like most of them will still have 6, 7 years left on their contracts. Like,
Yep.
you're gonna have a hard time moving them, or even getting them to agree to move. Like, so yeah, I don't know. Glad I'm not a Chelsea fan. for multiple reasons, but it's great to watch from the outside.
Yeah, it is fun, but it also, we hear this Big Six all the time. It's like, when are we going to start changing Big Six to something else? Because they're not in the Big Six anymore. They're really not.
No, yeah, I think it's
They spend a lot, but so does Forest.
yeah, it's time to refresh that Big Six, because there's certainly a handful of names that could be in there now.
For sure. All right, that was match day 18. I think we got to most of it. For EPL news, just a quick break from games, just a couple highlights for the week that I thought were pretty interesting. We had our first female official head referee for the Fulham game. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that was the game here. I forgot to write down who they played. Yeah, it was Fulham and Bournemouth. So that was neat. And then something that I found fascinating, which I didn't know was something that hasn't been done in 15 years, but Sam Allison, the first black referee in 15 years for an EPL game. That's crazy.
That is crazy. And like it's definitely something that's always kind of been in the back of my mind of like, why is it just a bunch of white dudes? Like,
yeah,
I know there's tons of diversity in England alone. Like, it never made sense to me. So, glad to see both of them getting out there and switching it up a little bit. I think just getting some new blood in the reffing pool will be good.
It's almost like we just need to have even a bigger pool of refs to choose from.
Yeah, I think so.
We just don't see these same names every single game. Because then you just I feel like you target, them, their tendencies.
Yeah.
And then you can just target them and, I don't know, call out all their criticisms. I mean, we know nothing about Sam Allison. But as far as I know, he looked like a pretty good official that day. I had no problems with the way he ruled things. Rebecca Welch, that was the name I missed there.
Nice.
So, 2 new refs in the Premier League. So let's see how they do.
Well, it can't be hard to be better than the refs that we all know. So
the bar is so low.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta like just be average. Like, just
be average, and just like, if something happens, just communicate what happened and what you saw and why you called it the way you did. Boom, done.
We'll be so happy if that's the case.
Yeah.
So happy. And then last little news bit here, Chad. Man United got a 1 out of 5 on their food, claiming it was making people sick, very sick, and they weren't even sure. Did you hear about this? Do you not know this?
I saw the sick thing, but didn't really look into it at all. So
exact quote is, Man United slapped the 1 out of 5 food hygiene rating after guests at corporate event given raw chicken. Several people alleged to have been sick after attending an event at Old Trafford, and now they are worried about serving food at games.
Oh my God.
And I wanted to say, is it the food or is it the gameplay? Because both are awful to watch.
Yeah.
They make me sick at home, so it could be the food.
Maybe just get Ten Hag in the kitchen. He's got the great tactics of how to cook properly. It'll all work out.
That's true. I bet Anthony does I bet he does this.
For sure. Or he's like the guy, like almost like the hibachi grills, trying to do all the moves with the egg and flip it up and stuff. Like
he does the volcano and just waves the smoke. All right, that's all the big news I got. Fun, stupid news.
Jeez.
All right, match day 19. Let's. I'll start with Liverpool, just because it's quick, easy, right to the point.
I did see like the first half of this game, basically.
Okay. Nunez hit the target, beautiful goal. Gotta give him a shout out there. About time. Jota's back. Again, we talked about this. He needs to start or play a lot of minutes because he deserves to be out there. I think under Salah, he's probably our next best goal-scoring threat out there. Nunez needs to find his way, but I think it's Salah, Jota, and then everyone else is kind of bunched together.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed. I mean, I know Diaz had a bunch of outside stuff go on, but like he didn't really take this position while he had the chance.
No.
With Jota out, but
he's a workhorse. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he's an Energizer bunny, but he's not the goal scoring threat. He, he's very similar to kind of how Martinelli has kind of been, at least if I want to put
Mhm.
it how for you guys this season, not last season. Martinelli was
Yeah.
fantastic last season, and this year I think it's just a slow start. And then Liverpool being called for not one but 2 goals back
Yeah.
because of just some very odd things happening. And the big one was the push.
Mhm.
A player pushing Mo Salah offsides, which is that the new meta? Is that like
It could be.
big brain, Chad, where we can just do this? Because uh, Salah did not interfere with play. He was not offside before that ball was kicked.
Mhm.
Um, excuse me for not knowing that player that pushed him. I put it
I
out
think
of
it's
my
Pau
memory.
Torres. Oh no.
I read a
I've just
Reddit
seen the.
comment. Did you see that
That's
too?
maybe where I got it from.
Someone on Reddit said Pau Torres pushed Salah. Like, dude, they're playing Burnley.
Yeah,
That's
but then
hilarious.
they're the same colors too. So like Jesus.
I'll pull it up because you say that, and that was just exactly what I read the other day. I was like,
Um,
what the? It
I'd
might have been
assume it was.
Bayer. Oh,
Yeah,
I think it
yeah,
was
I'd
O'Shea.
assume Bayer.
Ooh, I want to say it was O'Shea.
Rocher.
I don't remember which one it was. One of those two.
Pau
Um,
Torres.
Pau. So we're gonna go with Pau. Uh, Chad, he pushes him off sides into
Yeah,
the
he sure
keeper's
does.
vision,
Mhm.
and then they say, "Salah, you fucked up." Now, what? I'm like, okay. Now I took a back seat here, and I
Mhm.
said, "Did that player foul Salah?" No, he did not. But are you
Mhm.
allowed to push a player with 2 hands in the back? You know all
Well,
about this.
sometimes. Sometimes. No, I mean,
Touche.
like, yeah, this is a weird one.
It's so weird, dude.
I think it probably should have stayed and stood as a goal. Because, like you said, it's not that Salah was already in an offside position and in the way or trying to play the ball or anything. He just gets pushed forward, which happens to be not right where the ball's going, but around it, and yeah.
Chad kills me, bro. This is the thing too. I think this is where common sense really needs to kick in for refs.
Yeah,
Are you saying they wouldn't have scored, or that ball would have been saved if Salah wasn't there?
that's what they're saying.
Well, they're fucking high.
No, I haven't watched the goal in a couple days now, but if I remember correctly, Trafford already was kind of shifting the opposite way and then had to shift back. So like
Yep.
he would have never made that. If he makes that leap, that's an absolutely incredible save. But I don't think he does.
It's never
So
happening. It's never
yeah,
happening. There's no way. Um, like, come on. This is where common sense just needs to kick in, and the fact he gets pushed, um, it's just crazy because if he didn't push him with 2 hands, it's different. It's
yeah.
different. If he shoulders him, fine. But pushing someone with 2 hands is it's so hard to stop your momentum or adjust your positioning because it's out of your control at that point.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know, man. I
Yeah.
was so
I mean,
confused by this, but I'm glad it didn't matter. I'm glad it didn't change
yeah,
the outcome, as that's important. It was just annoying. I was really annoyed by
yeah.
this one, even more so
I
than the handball.
I remember hearing one of the commentators, like kind of not pointing out the push, but seeing that Salah was moved, I guess. And he was made. I forget exactly what he said, but it was something like, "Oh, he just has to be stronger there. That's just the game. Like he just needs to have more strength in that situation."
To do
But like,
what?
I guess to hold his ground and not get pushed. But like, that's still,
Oh,
if you go to the root of that, he's still getting pushed.
dude, we're grasping
And
for straws at that point. We
yeah,
really
so
are.
that I mean, yeah, I'm glad that didn't become a bigger thing and be the goal that could have decided the game or anything, but still, like
This is 2 in 1
it,
week. This is 2 in 1
with,
week where I'm just like,
yeah,
well, what is happening
and
again?
like with how tight this table is, like I don't think it will come down to goal differential, but it very well could. So, goals need to stand that should.
I just don't understand when they say it's not a foul, but if it was anywhere else, it
Yeah.
would have been a foul. I'm like, so why is it not a foul here? It just sucks. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I'm so tired, Chad, of like these goals just getting called back for just stupid reasons. All right. I'm good. We won. That's all that matters. Top of the league, baby.
There you go.
Kristen said you only got a week of it. I was like, okay, so that's fine. All right, you want to talk Arsenal West Ham here?
Yeah. I think this game, it was showed, I think, what Arteta still needs to work on tactically with Arsenal's. Like, I mean, I know defensively, like, this wasn't their greatest game either, but most of the games this season, Arsenal's defense has been, pretty immaculate. Saliba's been great. Gabriel's, I'd say, been just as great, but I think kind of flies under the radar because Saliba's like the big name since he's so young. I think Arsenal kind of has been shooting themselves in the foot by slowing down a lot of their attacks. You look at last season, and so many of the goals would come from Martinelli getting onto the ball on a counter attack, or Saka, even Jesus, or just like actually running with the ball and maybe not always scoring, but getting into dangerous positions. Whereas like this season, okay, Arteta wants to control games and dominate games. And if you look at, touch maps and passes and number of touches and touches in the opponent's box and everything, he's achieving that. But
he did that today, big time.
Yeah, but the goals win the games, obviously. So I think you gotta find the balance in that. Like, you can dominate, but then if you're dominating but not scoring the goals with that, then it doesn't matter, right? So I think maybe shift some of that attacking momentum, and just like let your quick players play and like your technical players play and carry the ball more. I don't think Trossard was the play today to take Havertz's spot. I would have liked to see Smith Rowe. He's not as tall as Havertz, but I think he's still like 6'6'1", so still has some height in the midfield then. And he likes to run with the ball. And I think that would have maybe not got a goal, but I think would have caused more problems than just running down to West Ham's box, passing it around, losing the ball. All right, we get it back, run back down around the box. Like it was annoying to watch in that sense. But I think one of the games where it made it like most clear and apparent of like what Arteta still needs to figure out in this team. So hopefully he and his coaching staff see that too, and we'll make the adjustments needed. But yeah, West Ham's been on fire. Arsenal's been good, but the attack all season has been off, I guess would be a good way to say it. So not all too surprised with the outcome. I think that first goal was just like such a classic Arsenal defensive blunder that we haven't seen in so long. Is it out? Is it in? I don't know. We can talk about that, but yeah, bummed to not get the win. But if it's gonna be to a team, West Ham's playing well. So
top 6 team.
Okay.
That's how you gotta look at that. Top 6 team. Yeah, I don't know. That one was tight. That ball that Bowen saved. I'd argue it was even tighter than the Newcastle one.
I think so.
And by tighter, I mean that ball must have been a sliver in, if anything, because it looks like from the angles that we see, it looks out. Even with the picture of Bowen's back to the camera, and you can kind of get an idea of what the ball and shape looks like between his legs. I I wish someone would have even just drew like a ball outline. I feel like we could do. I feel like we have the technology to at least see where the ball is, because we can see it. I think in between his thighs, just a little bit.
You can see like slivers.
But shouldn't that
It
be
depends what
enough?
frame you look at. Like
But
there's
that even that back frame of him with the ball in between his thighs, I feel like that's enough to get the circumference, or even just the radius of the
yeah.
ball, and then just be able to outline a ball, and then take our touch line and raise it up and see if it's in or out. I don't know. It
Yeah.
sounds easier said than done, but at
I
this
think it's
point,
pretty easy though.
but at this point, what are we doing?
Yeah.
2 in 1 season, man. That's brutal.
And yeah, weeks apart. Damn. I'm not too upset with the call ending up as it did, because you're right. There is not conclusive evidence that that ball was in or out.
Right.
But I don't think it's acceptable for Premier League to want to be, the number one league, and all this money is poured into Premier League and the teams, and to not have the proper angles to see the plays. And I get that, like, this is very much one of those edge cases where, well, I mean, it's second time in the season, so maybe it's not so edge case, but
Yeah.
but it's end line. Typically, ball is just going out there. Like, it doesn't come up all that often, but there's no excuse to not have cameras have multiple angles pointed at that, and not this one that's like up in the fucking rafters where you're zooming in and it's like 3 pixels now. Like, I don't know why they even have that camera.
We don't have 8K cameras now. Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. So I don't know. That my takeaway from that is, like, they need to up their camera game, right? Like, whether that's cameras in the goalpost, the corner flags, both. More overhead cameras. I know the World Cup with their and I guess maybe Champions League with their semi-automated offside doodad I think it used like 12 cameras to track the ball and the players. So okay, if Premier League doesn't want to use it for the offsides, then maybe you can cut back a few cameras, but like at least have it follow the ball, right? And then you can see it clearly through bodies, basically, right? Like
X-ray type style.
Yeah, so there's things out there. It just Premier League needs to adopt them, and yeah, like it's I'm okay with the call. I get it. It wasn't conclusive, but it's not acceptable to not have an angle.
I think a part of that is also this season and recent seasons, when things are happening or an offside is wanted to be called, the rule of thumb right now is wait, we'll review it. But the problem now is wait, we'll review it. They score, we review it, we say, we don't know what happened. We got to go with the goal now. It's like, well,
yeah.
Well, then what if that ref on that touchline saw the ball go out of bounds, raises his flag, okay, and says that ball went out, because that's what he's like, almost human instinct is supposed to do.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Call what you see. That's the job of an official. Call what you see.
Yeah.
Say that ball stays in, right? They blow the whistle. The goal never happens. So it's like,
yeah,
we got these two worlds of evils that we don't know how to do the right thing right now. And it's just frustrating as a fan, like, to see that call today live and be like, ooh, that ball's probably out, but they can't say it's out because it already happened.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe the way you got to go is just let the refs call it as they see it. There will be the moments where they call an offside and the guy wasn't, and you're potentially stopping a goal, but I think that's probably the most.
Then why do we have VAR?
It's probably the most clear way to ref like a fast-paced game, right? Of like, you want us to trust the refs anyway, right? So let them call the game. You have VAR if you need it. There's going to be moments just like there are now where it doesn't go the right way for teams, but that's the human element of the sport, because it doesn't matter either side. Like, we see it right now, VAR can't get it right, and that's human element in there. So just let the refs ref it, and then review things as needed. And I don't know.
It makes me wonder if VAR wasn't here, would Odegaard's handball be a handball? Like maybe. Would this ball be out of
Yeah,
bounds for Arsenal? Maybe. Like
maybe.
I don't know. Things
But I
fall
think
into
you're right.
place.
I mean, I think most refs on that line, like you're already on the opposite side of the field to see that. Your instinct is probably to say that's out because you see, if not all the ball, most of that ball, appear on the other side of the post, right? So like,
But you're not supposed to. You
all
can't
right,
now. You can't.
you can't now. But I mean, I think that you're right in saying that had if we're going off what he sees, he probably calls it right away, and then the goal doesn't happen. If only VAR had the angles to walk back in time and make that a thing, but here we are, VAR podcast.
Wouldn't it be nice to also interview the ref afterwards and be like, "Do you think that
Well,
ball went
yeah.
out?" They would never say yes or no. It would
I
never
mean, yeah,
happen.
I don't think you could ask him so plainly.
Oh, they'd ask it. They would ask it.
Well, I guess they'd ask it, but yeah, you probably wouldn't get a real answer.
No, never.
But I think you do need to, maybe not like a video post game interview, but I think there should be like a post match report, which I'm sure they fill out, but like I think it should be a little bit more public in that.
Hmm.
Um, of because there's notable events in every game, whether it's big or small, but they keep their list of the yellow cards and everything, and I'd like to see comments on those sometimes, right? Like,
The NBA does this. They do the 2 minute match report, end of games, last 2 minutes. That's when
hmm,
ref statements come out, and
okay,
they're filled with minute 151. Yes, that player was fouled. It should have been called. 30 seconds left in the game. That ball was out of bounds. It should have been called. Like, and then even the opposite way. Ref made a call here, shouldn't have been called. Like, so they go both ways. They call the refs out for when it needs to
yeah,
be called out, and vice versa. But it's not like they still okay. The refs screw up. See you next game.
yeah, yeah. But and I think that it maybe comes back to what we said earlier too. Of you just need a larger reffing pool, because then if you have a big pool, you can do these kind of reviews, and the good ones will filter up to the top, where the ones that struggle will not be picked as often, or kind of stay middle of the pack. And ideally, they all improve off of, okay, well, so and so did this in this situation, so okay, yeah, Holland was fouled, but then the ball's still playing, and he let it play on like he should have, right? And then okay, so maybe make a note of that, of like, okay, I'll take a moment's step back in these like tight situations and just like let things kind of play out before I really make a call. I don't know. I feel like you have the bigger pool, you'll naturally get the good ones and the bad ones and all that. And I think there's room for improvement, clearly, and I don't think they want to improve. I think they're happy being their tight little group that run the Premier League.
Well, I don't even know who the good and bad referees are anymore.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like it's a crapshoot every game.
I look at the names, and obviously the big ones we know, and we kind of know what to expect. But that sucks. That's expectation now that I'm setting up for failure most of the times. And if they do something good for me, it's like whoa, okay, it should be neutral. It should be totally neutral across the board. But here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. I got nothing else on that one. Do you?
No. Yeah, would have liked to win, but I hope just hope Arteta saw the flaws in the tactics and builds from that.
We'll tag him.
Yeah.
All right. You want to start with the game here? Or you want to catch your eyeballs?
I mean, certainly Forrest taking down Newcastle, Chris Wood with the Hattie. Oof.
That was good. Nuno back. Forrest, I think this could be new coaching energy. This could be,
I think a little bit, but
a little bit like playing a little bit better than what they should be playing as. I mean, Chris Wood, man. When's the last time that man got a hat trick? Maybe his first ever. Was that his first?
Um,
I'd argue it
I don't
was.
know, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I mean, to go away to Newcastle, which Newcastle in their best games have always been at home, and to just really show them up.
Yep.
Damn.
Didn't expect it. Newcastle was playing pretty good in that first half, and then Forest just broke them in the second.
Yeah.
Absolutely broke them. So good for them. I think that could maybe get a little kickstart to get them out of relegation. Good to see Nuno back in Premier League too, though. I mean,
yeah.
Spurs, I think, disrespected him a little bit, just like they do with all their managers. Didn't give him enough time, but we'll have to see what Forest does now, because they still probably don't have the personnel to keep them afloat. Like, if we look at this table right now, I'd argue Luton is probably playing better than Forest, but new coach energy could be coming out.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely ride that bounce a little bit, and I don't know, maybe Nuno will be the guy to solidify a starting 11, because Cooper never did that. So
no, Cooper's all over the place. They got Man United next, Chad. That's must watch.
That might be spicy, actually.
I'm definitely gonna tune in. That's on the 30th.
Okay.
So Saturday, I'll be checking on that one.
Nice.
The game I kind of want to go to is I think let's just do City and Everton really quick. Everton went up 1-0 to get that game going, and then they just played so nervous the rest of the game. I think they couldn't believe that they were winning.
Yeah.
And then City did that thing, which I don't know their exact time of goals here. Yeah, so they scored 2 goals within 10 minutes of each other. They did that thing where they just turn on for 10, 15 minutes. They just put on this full press and just outplay you so hard, and they exhaust you. And that 10-minute window made Everton look silly. And then at the end of the game, Pickford just made a terrible mistake. He doesn't usually do that. He's the one to get so mad at his teammates when they screw up. And then of course he screws up, and he's looking around like, I was like, dude, the only person that you should be mad is yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's yelling at. It's just goalkeeper energy. But I thought in the good, the bad, the ugly, I thought City were bad, because I thought they should have probably played a lot better in this. I know they won. They came back from the Club World Cup, but I thought Rodri was making weird mistakes.
I think he was tagged with an error in there too, I think.
Yeah, he definitely led to Jack Harrison's first goal. He passed the ball back so weak. I mean, if you go watch that first goal that Everton had, it was the most sloppy City defending I've seen in a long time. But I give Everton the ugly here, because they were playing so good in recent weeks, and they I mean, to go up 1-0 on City in the first 30 minutes, it's awesome. And then they just played so bad the rest of the game. It was I was
that's surprising.
I mean, disappointed.
Yeah, I thought Everton being at home, I thought they would make it pretty difficult for City. And even if they went up, I thought they would still feel a little bit more confident in themselves, because they have the home crowd behind them. That's a bummer.
Tail through the legs, like oh no, we're winning. Oh no, it was like that. I'm serious. If you go watch that game back, the full 90, it was like that. Started so high, and then they just freaked out. So yeah, that was my game.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the other Manchester team then. 3-2 against Villa, after, I would say, not looking likely to get anything from this game. I don't know. I mean, I just caught bits and pieces of this. So from what I gather, Villa just kind of stopped playing.
They both get the ugly from me, Chad.
Okay, good.
The first goal McGinn scored was the most ugly defending I've seen United have. Ball just bounces in off of a free kick.
Nice.
Lands its way in. Denon Docker with his goal. Again, Onana being in a weird position. And then the half ended, and then we start back up, and all of a sudden Villa acts like they already won the game. Now, United had a breakaway with Rashford. I don't know if you saw it in the highlights. Great breakaway, passes it to Garnacho in the middle, who's offside, and he goes on to score. And it was like, why? Why did you make that pass? Chad, there was no one in front of Rashford. No one. He was on the left wing and he was running, and he decided to pass it through Garnacho. Now it was close. It wasn't like a clear. I mean, it was clear enough to be offside, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just bad. It just made no sense. I was like, why? That's how inconfident that man is right now in terms of him not wanting to go out and score.
He's waiting for February. He'll turn it on then, bust out the short month, and then be
close.
Done.
It's getting close to that point. But Garnacho, he was kind of the only bright star for them. Everyone else, Varane was doing like dumb things that he's usually on top of it. Evans, dumb things. Hoyland finally got his goal, but he was very lucky in that. It was a weird ricochet bounce off of a knee that Villa defended poorly, and he was able to kind of off balance score. It was a good goal, but again, bad defending led to it. Both these teams are ugly in my book, just not organized. They were both lazy, just in different halves, and somehow United found the victory. But
yeah,
man, Aston Villa's got to figure some stuff out. And Emery, before the game, was interviewed. He didn't look confident going in. So I wonder if last week's it was pretty. He was getting asked, like, what do you think of your team's performance this year? And he's like, shaky voice type thing. It wasn't like I'm very like we're ready to go today. It wasn't like an energized speech to the journalists. So I don't know what he saw in terms of. I don't know what his team needed to do. That was a little different. I mean,
day after Christmas, maybe he knew they all had a big Christmas party, and he's like, "Uh-oh."
No Pau Torres since he's playing for Burnley now.
Yeah, makes sense.
So maybe that's why he was a little nervous. No, I don't know why Pau wasn't in this game. Now that I'm looking at this, do I have that right?
No.
Fun facts of the game, though, Chad. This is gonna make you laugh. Lucas Dean. I heard his name pronounced 3 different ways. Dean, Digny, and Dinny. I think Dinny was the other one.
Huh.
So
see, no one knows.
I'm going with Dean. I think Dean I heard that one the most. But when I heard Digny, I was like, oh Lord. I was like, what are we doing? We're going backwards. So I remember we did this years ago when we were like, well, how do you say his name? Deanie. I think Deanie was the other one I heard. Deanie. And then Digny. And then Dean.
Dean's good.
I think Dean's fine. It's French. Yeah. Dean. So yeah, he got hurt. So we probably won't have to say his name.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's all I got for that one. Fun stuff. Onana's terrible, by the way.
Look, just as well as I do that my fantasy team is deep down in the dumps. So I've been, getting together my winter changes and doing all my research and stuff. And Onana, stat-wise, looks pretty good for our league, but then I just see the mistakes that he makes in the games. It's like, do I want that on my team? I need, like, whoever I put in, I need them to be just like impeccable for the rest of the season to give me any hope.
It's mostly -1 per error. So I mean,
yeah. But I don't know. He's on my list for sure. But man, I took him I think I took him in the Champions League.
I did too.
And that didn't really pay off.
Did not.
So I think I feel a little bit burned from that. But it's when he makes a good save, it looks good. And I don't know. I'm still so undecided of what I'm going to do.
You're watching Onana highlight reels. You got to watch the no light reel.
The no light, yeah.
Inter Milan has just as many clean sheets as they did with him as without him. I think Inter Milan is just a team that is set up to make their goalkeepers look extra great. Jan Somar is currently their keeper, and they're looking so good right now. And yes, he's a good keeper, but I think that team is just so organized in the back. And when we look at Man United's senior citizens in the back line, it's it's a hard thing to watch. Did you see the Club World Cup Fluminense backline build up with their keeper?
No.
Oh my God, Chad, man, you would pay over $100 million for this whole backline. It was incredible. I'll show you the video. And mind you, they're playing City and like kind of a full strength City. Despite Holland and the way they slice and dice them, dude, I wish this team was in Premier League because they were so good. And watching old man Marcelo being a part of it too, it was really cool to watch. The camera angle was from the goalkeeper's not perspective, but above it, and going from defense to attack. It was beautiful. It was so nice. And I was just thinking, Man United would kill for this.
Hey, don't give them any ideas. They might do it.
They might. I wouldn't be shocked though if that team, just because of that clip, got some bids because of how well they played the ball out of the back. So it's a shit game. It's so bad. I'm not even kidding, dude. So bad. Woo. All right. I'm going to choose a game here. Let's go Brentford really quick. Brentford Wolves, because Brentford got smacked. Welcome back to the Premier League, boys. They got their week off because City had the postponement, and they probably should have taken 2 weeks off. That was awful. Brentford was doing pretty good before they went on their little hiatus. And after this game, man, the Wolves, did you see the mistakes they made?
I did. I didn't really watch all the highlights, but I kept seeing all the mistakes posted. So like watched all those, and man, they handed Wolves the game. Like it was incredible.
I think Hwang Hee-chan was like, "Are you kidding me? Another?"
Yeah.
You're not supposed to pass me the ball.
Yeah, I don't know what Collins.
Nathan Collins.
Yeah, Nathan Collins.
Young lad.
I don't know. He must have been just shaking in his boots or something, because
it's like his legs didn't work.
Yeah, he was like Bambi out there figuring out how to use them.
That's a pretty good analogy, because that is what it looked. Deer in the headlights. Your name, like, yep. That's what I saw too. So yeah, they're on my ugly list too. A lot of uglies this week. Now that I'm going down my list, but there are goods out there. We just haven't hit them yet.
Yeah. And Neto on the bench, so he's almost back.
I wanted a Neto sign. I was ready to highlight it, but it never came up.
I think had this game not swung so far in Wolves' favor, like so easily, then he probably would have stepped on. But at that point, just don't even bother risking him.
No, not this game. Not this game.
Yeah.
What you got? What game you want to check out?
We'll go Brighton Tottenham. I caught the whole first half of that before the Arsenal game.
Yeah, pretty good game.
I thought, yeah. It looked, pretty well, like toe-to-toe matchup, I'd say, in that first half. Like, I mean, Brighton already had a 2-goal lead at half, but I don't think Tottenham looked terrible in their play. Just Brighton got the chances right, and Tottenham kind of just struggled to really get going, I think. They were playing quickly, just not like as well connected as we've seen them in recent weeks.
My notes are Brighton out Tottenham. I think that's pretty accurate. They went hard on the goal scoring early, and Tottenham, even though it was 4-2, it was really 4-0 until the end, when everything was just kind of falling into place. I think Estupiñán coming back is a huge win for them.
Yeah, for sure.
This man can defend and attack, and just has a sweet left foot. I'm not shocked with him being back. That I think this could be a bright future for Brighton now. Mm-hmm. Bright future, bright future. Yeah, so wow, welcome back.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, that goal was chef's kiss of a goal, you know.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of my favorites of the week.
Yeah, and I think they gave up 2 goals late, but that's just because they don't like clean sheets. We know this already.
This is
So
their. I was like, there's no way they're gonna keep a
nah,
clean sheet.
yeah,
We all know
yeah, yeah. I think like you said, as you put it, Brighton out Tottenham. Tottenham feels that feels like the one line summary for this game, and it fits so perfectly.
it. No Romero now either. I don't know if you saw it for
Yeah.
like a month.
So yeah, they got more injuries. A handful of players leaving for the Asia Cup and AFCON too.
Oh yeah,
So
wow, a lot.
they might enter a kind of interesting period here. We'll see what they're made of.
I think I'm
Yeah,
taking Romero out.
yeah, probably a safe bet.
A month is too long. I'll probably do it. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot about AFCON.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a list the other day, but it was maybe 4 or 5 of their starters are gone through that, plus the injuries and
Sar,
um,
Udogi,
yeah, Sun will be
Son.
gone. Yeah, a good amount of them. So we'll see. I mean, they got Bournemouth next, which I think could also be another one to watch. Bournemouth has been on fire since their loss to City 6-1. They actually haven't lost a game since. So
Damn.
yeah, so I think that'll be a good one. Bournemouth's been looking better, so see if they can take it to Tottenham now.
Did you see the end of the game? Or I guess not the end of the game, but when Pedro was coming off, Lo Celso was mouthing off to him. Oh,
Oh, I saw. I didn't see it live, but I saw someone posted a clip online.
so weird. So like just bizarre and
Yeah,
uncalled for. And he covered his mouth, so we have no idea what he said. But is that? I think that's maybe some like Brazilian, Argentinian like beef they
could
got.
be. Yeah,
I don't know. It was just so. It was like, what is happening right here?
yeah. I didn't notice anything in the game of like them two really going at it to, for him to be like, oh, you cheated or whatever. But like,
He was a little butt hurt.
I think so. Well, because I think Lo Celso did give up that second penalty on Ferguson, um, which was, I wouldn't say soft, but I think it's just a dumb tackle to make in the box. So,
Yeah, it's his own
um,
fault.
yeah.
The dunk challenge though, that was a bad one.
Yeah.
Again, we've seen that studs up into the ankle. We call a red. Have been
Yeah.
called a red plenty of times, and Dunk like just came back. It feels like from his other suspension. So yeah, I was kind of shocked that one was just a yellow.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it might be chalked up to like the refs have an idea of the temperament of the player in their head, right? Whereas like
For sure.
Romero's known to be a little aggressive in his
Oh,
challenges and stuff,
that
whereas
was.
Dunk is,
Mm-hmm.
a lot more controlled normally. So that maybe played into his favor, but I think yeah, lucky to only see yellow there.
If that was Romero, it would have been straight red. So easy to call. All right, we busting through. Let's just do Chelsea Palace really quick. Chelsea has a big injury list right now. Not really sure who we're going to see on for them in the next couple of weeks, but Reece James is now out 3 or 4 months. That's a big one. Enzo is going to be out for a while. Cucurella is out now too. I think Thiago must have got the day off today, which thank the Lord they're gonna kill that man before he.
He got subbed in.
Oh, he did get subbed in. Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
not a full day off, but
they said we need you.
yeah,
We need you bad. Michael Elise with a nice little goal. Getting the crowd, flip him off. That was pretty fun watching that live. They were not happy with him. And then Mudryk goal. I thought that was pretty sweet. I was like, finally.
Yeah,
finally this man makes a good run and
starting
scores
to
nicely.
figure it
The
out.
build up was nice though. I thought Gusto did a really good job. He's definitely when Reese was down early in the season and he was playing, I was like, this guy's really good. Like they need to bring him on more. And then Reese came back and did his temper tantrums and was kind of shitty. And then so
Yeah,
I'm glad this guy's now taking advantage of the situation.
yeah, and I think last time when he had this little period, like overall, I think it was really good. I think he did have a few moments where he just like made some weird tackles and stuff, but hopefully kind of losing his spot to Reese again and then getting it back was enough to kind of steady the ship and have him focus because he looked really promising for a lot of those games. So
Yeah.
I mean, already helping out here. So
He's
um,
young. He's 20.
is he really that young? Wow,
Yeah. Doesn't
didn't
play like
realize
he's
that.
20, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah. So I think he's one to watch for the future. He's probably like the least paid on that team.
Probably. Yeah. Have you seen the reports that Chelsea are probably selling Gallagher in hopefully the winter window?
Bro, that's like their best player.
I'm
It's a captain.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I get you're trying to do this like long contract, but not high salary deal, but like he might be one to just kind of throw the money at just to keep him right now. Like, if you're trying to build forward with this team and all these young guys, like he looks to be kind of the most consistent player I think you got right now. He's playing well. He's kind of taking that captain's role. I don't know. I think if they let him go, that's a real big. I don't even know what to call it. A loss, certainly, but like, just what are you doing? What happened to this vision of building a young team over the next 8 years or whatever? Like,
Every Premier League team just needs a young English midfielder. It's like a
yeah,
staple to being in the
for sure.
league. And if
Or
they get,
James Milner.
or James Milner, like yeah, exactly. I hope Liverpool can go for him here. I mean, Endo has been playing so good for us, but he's 30,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
I don't expect Endo to be
he was
around
he's a stopgap kind of signing.
for
Like,
sure. He's going to be that star for. He's filling up that place for a year or two, doing
mhm.
exactly what we need him to do. I hope it turns into longer, but I don't expect it to. He's 30. He's going to be,
Yeah,
if he finishes at 32 with Liverpool, awesome. Now Gallagher, this is like Henderson 2.0, but maybe better. Uh,
probably.
I,
I
I
think I think definitely has a higher ceiling.
for sure. Um, I'm interested. I'm
Yeah,
interested.
I mean, I think most clubs will be, you know,
Do you
throwing
have
their hat in the ring.
Do you have a place for him?
Hmm. Like I've been trying to think about it, and um, I mean, I'd really love to see Palace go back in for him because he did really well there on loan. And I know they tried to buy him after that loan, but Chelsea, rightfully so, didn't want to sell him. um, but with how Palace is kind of looking this season, I don't think he would even bother to go.
Yeah.
Um, I
No.
mean, yeah, I don't. United will probably throw money at it, but I think if you're Conor Gallagher, you're seeing your Chelsea dream, I guess, kind of fade away, right? And so you want to see a project or an established team that's working and moving in the right direction. And I think Liverpool's definitely in there. Arsenal won't go in for him, but like they have that vision. Brighton I think is maybe a sideways move rather than an upgrade, but makes sense. Newcastle I think could do well with him, but I just don't think it's the position they need to fill. Um, Tottenham I could see trying to get something with him, but again I don't really think it's necessarily the position they need to fill either. Um, see, I don't know. Like
Everton can maybe do it.
Everton,
I
I don't think
guess
he'd go to Everton,
if
but
he gets the choice, I mean, yeah, probably not. Man, if it's Liverpool, I'll be stoked. I would be stoked.
yeah, I mean, he would be a nice fit there. You know, it's after the summer of Caicedo drama kind of not panning out for Liverpool. Like,
We're so happy.
yeah, it definitely worked out, but then it would be funny to see Chelsea's star go the other way now.
That would be something. I mean, I mean, I love our mids, but we still need
Mhm.
depth. We have a good solid
Sure, yeah,
three with Gravenbach, McAllister, and Soberslai, but one more in there does not hurt at all. And
no, no, not at
we're
all.
not really sure about Gravenbach either. Like that's still a experiment. I think
Mhm.
that's why Endo is definitely getting more minutes because he's consistent. Kind of
Yeah,
has just been around longer, but he's not the future. He's definitely the present.
sure,
And
yeah.
that's okay. That's a good. We need both of those things.
Mhm.
Um, but also we're gonna be, we got Mo Salah 30, 32 next year, Virgil 33 next year, Robertson 30 next year. I mean, our stars are gonna be aging, and
Yeah,
we need the 23-year-old Sabaslai. We need the 24-year-old Nunez. The list goes on. It's time to get this new generation in the prime.
yeah,
So
for
Gallagher
sure.
Gallagher fits that timeline.
Yeah, I'll still be surprised if this actually happens and
Yeah,
that
me
Chelsea
too.
sell him,
Yeah, that's true.
to any team. But all the reports are saying that they can't come to a new agreement and they'd rather sell him in the winter than wait till summer. So we'll see.
Chelsea does stupid things, so
Yeah,
I will not be shocked.
yeah,
Chad, there's really only one more thing I really want to talk about.
sure.
I just want to talk about Fulham. I know we kind of brought him up earlier.
Mhm.
They lost again. They haven't had Jimenez, and it makes me think: was that their glue? The red card suspension happened. He should be coming back next week. They just look so lost, and I'm like, maybe that's why they didn't have this attack.
Mhm.
Leno pushing
Maybe, but
that
like,
kid. I was like, is this just built up frustration? But like, what? How
I
do they
mean,
solve this moving forward?
yeah, it's they've just kind of fallen off a cliff here in the past couple of weeks. Like,
So, are you going to stomp them while they're down? I think that's kind of what I'm asking.
I hope so.
You got them on Sunday.
Yeah, I would hope so. They
Yeah, they beat West
I,
Ham 5-0.
that's what I'm saying is I don't know what happened. Like, like they, we're playing pretty well. Lost some games poorly, but the um, the Liverpool game, very nearly they got away with a win there. They looked good. They got those back-to-back 5-0 wins, and then it all just like the red card was the straw that broke the camel's back that we didn't even know there was a camel. And it just the wheels have fallen off. I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah.
I don't think Jimenez was the glue. Like he's definitely been playing better as the weeks went on, but it
He's the
didn't look like he
scorer.
was.
Well,
Yeah, yeah,
he was like the generator,
yeah. Like
right?
he was at least a body up top to kind of
Kept the power on.
yeah. But I mean, really, with the way they were playing, I don't think losing him would be so detrimental. But maybe that is it. I don't know.
Focus was on him so hard it just created gravity, and
Maybe,
then
yeah,
everyone else was able to flourish. And now he's gone, and now they don't know how to play anymore. That's what it looks like, at least on the
yeah,
stat sheet. That's the only like outlier thing that I see is like what changed. Well, they don't have their striker. It's like, oh well,
yeah.
not that he
I mean,
scored a ton of
fair, but
goals, but
yeah,
he scored 30% of those two games.
yeah. I don't know. Hopefully Arsenal can take advantage of them being down in the dumps a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal can bounce back from some shaky games over recent weeks, and Yeah, Fulham. I mean, I feel like they've been weird all season, and they're just sticking with it.
I'm here for it. No games tomorrow, but we got a full lineup this weekend.
Mhm.
Is there a game on Monday too? I want to say there is. Is that
Yeah, I
Liverpool?
think 2 games on Monday,
Yeah,
right?
Liverpool Castle. That should be a doozy. And
Oh,
then
one on Monday, one Tuesday.
yeah. So good
Yeah,
news
Liverpool
there.
Castle. You either start the year great or you look. You either start the year top of the table or you start the year in second. So
Thanks. Good outlook on life.
I mean that you need an Arsenal win before that, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just like playing Castle. It's always for like a
Mhm.
dramatic finish and ending. And this is what Nunez did his thing last time. Game before that, we had the late 90th minute winner.
Mhm.
So we have some good luck against them. We'll see how this one is.
Yeah, it'll be exciting either way. So
Chad, I got nothing. Oh, we can do our quick goal. Want to just do goal for match day 18-19 combined?
sure, yeah.
Little combo action. Um, my goals. I'm gonna give you two. I'll do one from match day 18 and one from 19.
All right.
For 18, I'm gonna do Odebar from Burnley. He had a
Okay.
sweet curler. That one was super nice. Uh, and then for match day 19, I'm gonna go with Stupion. I think that's the one.
I think we're agreed on that one.
I think that was just an absolute banger, and like the way he
Yeah.
corked his hips and just ran it, that was pretty sick.
Yeah. For match to 18, I again Kudus, another just like
Mm.
takes the ball, somehow gets the power on it,
So much
and
space.
yeah, it just I don't know. I guess it's like you said, teams just don't really know how to play against him yet, and he's taking full advantage of that and scoring some nice goals doing it, and
I'm on the kudos train.
yeah, he looked good for sure.
Shout outs to Sinistera though from Bournemouth. He had a sweet
Mm,
goal
yeah,
this
his was
week too.
nice.
Player, I think we got to give it to Hattie Men, Chris Wood and Shalanki.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Makes sense. But shout outs to Huang. He had a nice brace, and
Hmm.
I thought everyone else was just all right. But those two,
Yeah.
far and above
Oh yeah.
everyone else. Team, I got one team.
And
It's West Ham. You take down Man U and Arsenal.
yeah, it's big. I'm agreeing with that, but I will also give a shout out to Luton.
Okay, they
Took
got
down
two. Yep.
Newcastle. I mean, you had some benefit from the 2 own goals to get past Sheffield, but
Oh
that's a
yeah, but
relegation rival right there. So
that's tough. I
yeah.
don't know how you weigh that. I mean, I would weigh that by dollars.
Yeah, you got to go through your checks of like goal differential. Okay, points. Okay, this. How much is each team worth?
I mean, Luton's probably what has like a $13 million team,
I
and
think so.
West Ham
Yeah.
has like a 90 to a probably $200 million team.
Yeah,
I know it's a big
probably.
range, but then you count
Yeah.
the like, so they beat a relegation. I think Luton's got to get it here, two in a row.
um.
I mean, Castle probably outweighs their expenditures by
Yeah.
a crazy amount. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I could go either way on it. Like, I'm kind of on the Luton train right now, just because they're doing good things for the table, and they have a good fight about them.
Yeah, underdog mentality.
But West Ham's just been on fire, so you know.
Meme of the week, new segment.
Meme of the week. I know we posted a few. Let me
Posted a
see what we had.
few. I'm sure there's probably plenty more that happened.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean,
I think for me, it's got to be Leno pushing that kid.
that's pretty good. You don't see that
He doesn't have
very
it.
often.
And the kid like didn't really react. But then like the whole crowd was like, "He fucking," he's like, "I guess." Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. I love Roy Hodgson just becoming more and more unhinged now,
it's
and
pretty awesome to watch. I'm
you know,
fully into it. I've been a Palace hater for like the last 2
yeah,
years, and now I'm totally leaning in and saying I want them to do everything around Roy.
yeah, yeah.
There's no like winner in this. This is all just
It's just
this is
meme of
all
the week.
great. It's all just
The
memes.
meme of the week, always the winner meme of the week is going to be VAR. So
That is damn. Yeah, the meme of the week is Mike Dean wearing his VAR Humbug
yeah, VAR
sweater. It's just
Humbug.
like he knows. He knows. Oh, there's one more thing I want you to look at.
Mhm.
And if you haven't yet, we'll go back and look at it. But when Sheffield has the second own goal in their game, it was like video game simulation. After they score it, I swear, like 5 players did the exact same like arm raise and like slap of their legs in disgust. And it was like, oh whoa! And it wasn't like everyone wasn't exactly the same, but it was just close enough. It looked very video game like.
Let me see if I can pull this up real quick.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I think that's like the only weird thing I had in here that was worth noting, but I definitely caught my attention just enough. Like, oh.
Let's see. Own goal.
I think it was the second one.
2 own goals.
And then I'm gonna find you the how do you say it? Fluminense build up.
Man,
Man, I don't even know how I'm gonna find this. I don't even know where I saw it. Maybe Insta.
Oh yeah, there is a handful of players that just like they got stuck on the same animation.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same, but it's very close.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was kind of fun it caught my attention. I went, whoa! I had to watch it like 3 times. All right, I think we nailed it, Chad.
Yeah, we're caught up.
Hour 40 in. I think it's time we wrap it up.
Mhm.
Anything else you got to say to the people?
No, just if you got any fantasy team tips, send them my way because Lord knows I need them.
I will not, but I hope the rest of the world does.
Yeah,
With that, I think the Hooligans are out. Episode 56 in the
that
books.
sounds right. Yeah.
We'll see you after the new year, or I guess at the new year. Yeah,
Yeah, right around there.
right around there. All right, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, ho
All
ho
right.
ho, and Hooligans out. Peace.